Good morning, I'm Dr. Prabjot Kaur, and in this video I'm going to tell you about the structures used in C programming. What is a structure? Structure is a user-defined data type which is a facility provided by C programming to store a collection of data. But arrays, in similar to structure, array is also a user-defined data type, but here there is some difference between array and structure, and that is that array is a user-defined data type that is used to store the homogeneous data types, whereas with the help of a structure we can store the heterogeneous data type. Now what is the meaning of this? Okay, we are taking an example. Let's say we have an Excel sheet wherein we have a student database. So a student database may consist of a records of the name of the students, marks of the students, subject taken by the students, department of the student, and maybe a gender of the students. So this kind of a data cannot be stored with the help of an array because these kind of data is of a different data types, right? So this kind of a database or records can be stored with the help of a structure. Structures hold data that belongs together. For example, you can store, as explained, I already explained, to store the student record. If you have a bank account which has the data related to the customer, we have an address book related to our our friends database or the address book of any kind. So will have a data which belongs to the address book only. So such kind of database can be stored with the help of a structure, and in database applications the structures are referred with the name records, which maybe you are familiar with. Now the general syntax of a structure is the keywords are typedef structure, and these are the members of the structure that you can include within a structure, and this is the struct type. For example, here is the keywords, and within this structure here there are two elements. One is the name character array with the name and 20 locations, which is here to store the name of the students, and integer variable, and from this name it is revealed that it will enter the age of the student, and this is the name of the structure. The individual members within the structures are called members, or you can refer it with the name fields. And these members, as I already told you, can be of any different type. It may be a simple variables, it may be array, it may be integer variable, it may be character variable. A struct is a name as a whole, while individual members are named using field identifiers. We can also have a complex user-defined data structure. That means we can have an array of a structure. Let's say we are taking one example. Here we are declaring a structure, and the name of the structure is student record, and within this structure we have four members. We have four primitive types. Number one as a character array to store name of the student. Second one is an integer variable to store the ID of the student. Third one as again one character array, and from the name it reveals that it is used to store the department name of the student. And fourth one is a character variable to store the gender of the student. So this whole defined as the user defined data type with the name student record, right? So now how much memory this structure is going to reserve? For example, if we are declaring a primitive integer ID, so it will store, we know that integer will store 2 bytes in the memory, and here if we are storing character array of 15 location, it is going to store 15 bytes in the memory. So all in all, these four members are going to store 15 plus 5, 20 plus 2, 22, and 123. That means 23 bytes. So if we are declaring any variable of this structured user-defined data type, it is going to store 23 bytes. So here in this particular statement, we are declaring student1 and student2 variable. So they are going to store 23 locations for student1 and 23 locations for student2. So here name, ID, gender and department. Now how we are going to access these elements or members of a structure, that is with the dot operator, right? So what is the journal syntax? That is a structure variable, which is in this case it is a student1. So student1 dot name of the member is a name. So how we can store the value in student1 dot name? For example, we are using a string compare string copy variable student1 dot name to Charles Thyman. That means this name will be stored into the member student1 dot name. It means to refer to the members, we have to refer it with the variable name of the structure, then dot operator, then the field name. In the second statement, we are storing ID 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the ID member of a student1 variable. And in the third statement, we are storing computer name of the department and the student1 dot department and M as a male member in the student1 dot gender. So in this way, at that particular location, these values will be stored. And similar to when we are referring student2 value, so in that case, the elements or the field elements which referred with the same member names, but as the memory location is different, which is referred by student2 variable, and this student2 actually tells us the starting location where the memory is reserved for student2, right? So in this manner, with the help of this dot operator, student variable name, and as per our requirement, we can store our database through this structure, right, in C programming. So thank you very much.